So let's go ahead and meet Peter. He's currently the product manager for Tempo at TM Software. He's responsible for process and quality management throughout the company. He's been involved in IT companies and or startups in Iceland, Arizona, and California for over 10 years. He likes coaching teams and individuals on using Scrum and Agile within the organization. And he's definitely heavily involved in the Agile community in Iceland. And outside of work, Peter likes to hike or mountain bike, and he actually rides his bike, a single speed bike, to work every day year-round in Iceland. So it's kind of a big feat. And if he were to win $1 million, he'd move back to California and buy a vineyard. So with that, Peter, I'll go ahead and turn the controls over to you.
Oh, thanks, Morgan, for the introduction. But without any further introduction, I'd just like to get started. Let's see. TM Software has been around for about 20 years. So we're about 100 employees. TM Software has two subsidiaries in the healthcare business, and one it's in Simtex, that's in the telecom business. We're owned by another company called Nihari, which is a full ICT company that has about 500 employees and has operation worldwide. TM Software have been experts in Agile development for a few years. Among our customers are airliners, banks, hospitals, and many large organizations in Iceland. Among our specialties are web solutions, custom development, infrastructure management, and all kind of other things in regards to ERP and billing systems. This just sums up the range of tools and services and specialty we are delivering to our clients. It goes all the way from IBM, Microsoft, to Atlassian. We're Atlassian partners. We're basically all over the map in that sense. Like I said, we are an Agile company, and a big part of that has to ensure that have been the Atlassian tools. We have used those for about 3 or 4 years, and they play a big role in that Agile development part, at least. And a little bit about why we decided to create Tempo. Tempo plugin was initially an in-house product that was created when we started using JIRA about roughly 3.5 years ago. We found a need that people were logging hours in multiple systems, and still they were under pressure from the administrator to enter hours in both the JIRA and the billing or the salary system. So we really didn't want people to enter timesheets in 2 different systems. It was pretty tedious process to adjust timesheets and billable hours, and time-consuming for administration. Also, we had problems with clients didn't really see the value because usually billing systems produce invoices or billing sheets that have very little to do with or little connection to the actual work that was done. We really wanted to tie this better into the work that was actually done in JIRA tasks, and etc. And at that time, we were going through pretty big Agile, lean process improvement. So this was kind of a direct push from those efforts. And but overall, people were pretty frustrated with the process, and so we decided to fix that, and we created Tempo to basically solve 4 things for us. I mean, first of all, we needed a way for users, not only developers, but also everyone in a company uses Tempo to log or to log their hours or time spent on anything, marketing, development, help desk, or administrators. So it needed to be easy, and we need to have ways for them to validate work logs if they're valid or not. But there's also another factor to Tempo, which is it's the management part of it. So we need a way for managers to adjust billing settings, adjust work logs, adjust text, even adjust billing attributes. Also print and review billing reports or timesheets. Third factor that was important for us is the overview, is that employees would have a quick overview of their allotments and their schedules. A project manager could also easily see workload on staff for a given billing period. And also we highlight if there are any problems if workloads are not valid, we can highlight that also. Third, and not the least, most important part of Tempo is the ability to connect it to your business. And what we mean by that is, since day one, we have had an API layer on top of Tempo, a REST service that businesses or companies can use to connect their own ERPs or salary systems into, or even business intelligence tools, or even Excel. We do that also. So that way you can create a bidirectional sync between the work logs that are created in JIRA Tempo to the billing or salary system. That's the way we have set it up. We set it up, our system, so it talks to SAP, and we've also set it up to connect to other BI tools and reporting tools. But it can also be used for other purposes. A few statistics about the plugin. I mean, it's been in development for 2.5 years. We introduced it to the market at the Summit last year. We do have our development cycles fixed for 3 weeks, and in most cases we kind of try to stick to that. Tomorrow we are releasing Tempo 4.5, which I'll be demoing, and it's 3 weeks tomorrow. So we're getting pretty good with that. Tempo has been in operation for companies in over 26 countries, the latest numbers I have. And it's interesting. It's all the way from small to a large organization with thousands of employees. And I was kind of worried that there are a lot of bigger companies, large organizations buying Tempo, but it suits really well for smaller organizations, small businesses. And there are hundreds of evaluations out there now evaluating Tempo. Tempo is available for JIRA 3 and 4. Currently, we don't develop any new features for JIRA 4. No, JIRA 3, excuse me. All of them are only available for JIRA 4. Now I'm just going to jump into showing the actual product. And what I'm going to show you is a pre-release of Tempo, which is going to be out tomorrow. It's Tempo 4.5. And we're going to start off with a employee. We just call him John Stewart, and he's a QA developer. And basically, every day when he starts his work, he probably goes into his dashboard that looks like something like this, and the first thing he does is probably looks at some of the work that's assigned to him. So let's just go in and check some of his work. In the issue view, we have on the tab down at the bottom, we have the Tempo tab here, and there John can look at his work logs. He's already logged for this for this issue, and he can quickly edit it here, and it will be saved. He can also edit the time here, and that will be saved. John can also move, split, or delete the work log. Move and split is just a way to move the work log to another issue, to another JIRA issue. But he can also add some billing attributes that are being defined by the administrator. And those can be anything, really, defined there. So what John is going to do, he's just going to close this issue because he's actually done with it. He worked on it yesterday, so he just closed that one. But he's going to go into Tempo, and he's going to look at his timesheet. So this is a timesheet view for Tempo, and as you can see, it's here we have defined a billing period. This could be anything, billing or salary period, from the 22nd of the month to the 21st of the next month. And this will highlight the current date. But John is concerned about he didn't finish his timesheet yesterday, so he's going to add an hour to one of his tasks. You can see one of his tasks, and he was going to add some Selenium tests, and that's one of the things he did. So he's just going to add here, started this, and he worked for 2 hours, and actually he worked at home, so it's an overtime, and he's going to put remaining estimate here. He's got 6 hours here. We do prompt for remaining estimate in Tempo. It's default. It's just in order for the task information to be accurate to the remaining time. As you can see, he's up to 7 hours. His required daily is 8 hours, so he needed to add 1 hour to it, but he remembers he had a meeting with the staff, so he pushes here at the log work button. And you can notice here we have 3 tabs: add work log, internal issues, May activity. One thing in Tempo, you can define our internal issues, and staff meeting is one of them. So, but this is for yesterday, so he moves it down to here. So he had a staff meeting with the CAO, and that was 1 hour. Here we go. Okay. So he's pretty happy with that. Just to double check, he clicks on the day to see his detail for his work logs, so he can see, just check out if there's some text. Oh, his boss is not going to like this, so he doesn't like when people say added stuff. So, so he's going to put something more descriptive, added header info on the sub menus, something like this. Okay, so that's done. By the way, he remembers John is going on a fishing trip next weekend, so what he's going to do, he's just going to add that into the system right now. So there's something called staff vacation. So fishing. So he's going to do 8 hours, and he's going to do it this Friday, and he's going to be also on Monday. Okay. So he's already put his time in there. Okay. John, of course, has more options here in Tempo. There are some reports that that he can also look at. He can also search for work logs if he can't remember there was something he needed to add time to. There's also a billing sheet view for employees. which will render up a editable sheet also, where he can look at his registration of or his timesheet in from a JIRA breakdown, versions and billing keys. So here he can just verify quickly if there's something here that doesn't really look good. I'm next gonna jump into John's boss and show you how John would actually look at his work. Let's see. John's boss, we just call him Chuck Norris. And Chuck really doesn't like to waste any time, so he runs a pretty strict schedule. So he goes into his timesheet. I mean, it's always the default view for everyone. As you can see, John was, Chuck, he was sick for the last 3 days, and he really wants to see how his team is doing. So under reports, for the Tempo administrator, they will have access to more advanced reports such as team timesheets, which will give them overview over how their teams are doing in regards to timesheets and performance. So he's going to look at the service team, and under service team, he can see there's John Stewart, and he's already at 8 hours, and he's going on a fishing trip. He's going to be on a vacation here. As you can see, he's added hours there, but he is a little concerned about John, so he clicks on his timesheet, so he can actually view his timesheet, and you can see here up here, you can see what active timesheet he's viewing here. And what Chuck is going to look at is he's going to check one of his things here, his timesheet, so he can look at one of his issues here, see what it was doing, and he can locate that he's working on this account, the Acme IQT development account, and he's a little bit concerned about that. So he goes into the billing report, and basically because Tempo allows you to import billing and customer account information, we can enrich the data, the JIRA data with that. So here we have something called billing clients. So this is basically something we can do with Acme, and here's Acme IQ2 development, and he's just going to generate up-to-date report on that. So okay, he's really not worked anything of that, so he's just going to look at another IT report, and he looks at the work logs here, and this is something that Chuck does not like stuff, so he can fix that. And another thing also is he actually promised John at Acme that this would not be billable, so that's fine. So that's on. So that's just good. So this report shows you worked hours. In future versions, we will actually enable to distinguish between worked and billable hours. So it will be very easily can be changed in here. So that's one of these things we're going to changing. It goes back into Tempo timesheet, and in here John can also view it by day and week and month, but he can also go to the previous month and look at the timesheet for that. There's some other views that John could have used. He could have used invalid work logs. Those are for for the administrator can define which attributes are required for billing purposes that are going to be included in the API. So if your system requires certain fields or attributes, you can define those there. So if they're invalid, those will be red, marked red. You can also set the views to be by assigned, by closed, also watched issues. That's pretty handy sometimes if you are involved in some issues, but it's not directly assigned to you. JIRA doesn't allow you to assign multiple assignees to one issue, so that can be pretty handy. And user settings are basically the daily required per day for an employee. That's basically on your user account. John, this is not John, this is Chuck. Chuck can also add work here, so he can, if he looks for management, then timesheet and account management, because he actually has spent quite a bit of time today on managing timesheets, so he has an issue for that. So he worked for an hour, add and close. So he's a pretty happy camper. So this kind of concludes this section. I'm next going to go over to the administration section of Tempo. We kind of have set the tone here in 4.5 version of basically we have added room for a lot of new features that we're going to be adding over the next 2 months. If we go with the administration function, it just happens that Chuck Norris is also administrator, but that's not always the case, but he is, so we'll take advantage of that. In order to set Tempo up, you have to configure a few things. We're always trying to make it easier for people to get started. This next version we have removed a lot of JavaScript libraries that required some special configurations. That's all gone, so but we'll keep on moving in that direction, basically removing anything that will slow people down getting started. First of all, there's some configurations. You need to map up the groups. You have Tempo admin for each group or department, divisions. This could be anything here on the left side. Then you have to map Tempo users. Basically, these are just JIRA user groups that you need to map to these departments or divisions or sub-companies or whatever it is in your organization or teams. Holidays. In order for the system to calculate the correct bucket of time that employees have for each month, we need to know what holidays are in your country. So this is easy to set up, both fixed holidays and floating. I mean, it's different in different countries. Then internal issues, like you saw in the quick add menu, this is basically a JIRA issue that we just map into this list. It's just easy to add. Then we have license control. This is standard. Billing configuration. This is quite important. This is basically just defining what what period it starts and ends, and if you want to start in January or Sunday or Monday. This all varies between companies. And work log attributes. These the attributes you saw underneath each work log. These can be set here pretty easily. Just click new, and you can add one very quickly. We are going to be extending this quite a bit. So these work log attributes are going to be dynamic also. So they can be hooked up to web services or anything you basically want to when that's actually been worked on. Required fields for billing. This is what I talked about. In order for, sometimes you need some of these attributes. Billing key is for sometimes some unique billing key. It might be one. Components version or whatever it is. In our case, we have fixed version or component and billing key. And then you need to pick what ID property you want to use. You need to create one property in JIRA. Then, not the least important is the ability to be able to close and open billing periods. The idea behind this is whenever someone has, when we're at the end of the billing period, we close it with certain grace period. We close it for all temperature. But we keep it open for the admin group. Admin groups are then the people that go and adjust the timesheets or billing reports, and when they're done, we close the billing period, and that means you can't add workload to any issues. And this shows one period behind. Access control. This is important if you're using some external system to pull in the Tempo services. You would need to identify the IP addresses or IP address range that are allowed to connect to the JIRA Tempo server. And the last thing here is the customer account manager. The customer account manager is basically where you import your customer account information, and the customer account information includes things like client name, responsible parties, both from the client, even if it's internal company, and also categorization. Is this billable? Is this internal? Is this marketing? Is this development? Is this product or whatever? And that way you can use that data to generate some kind of a reporting. And it's just, you would start off with something like this in an Excel spreadsheet. That's in our case, we have our billing system generate out this format, and we just import it. But also, that way you can also generate BI reports where you can look at things like billable hours versus other things such as development, internal issues, sales, marketing, etc. Whatever you define as your categories you want to track. So in this view, you would import the information. So let's see. So in here you would import the information, and then basically you assign any keys to a JIRA project. So if I would move this guy over here, I would move it over to this project. So this one is assigned to this project now, but I can also disable this billing key. So this means in this billing key, in this project, JIRA project, aka, I have 2 billing keys valid. So this kind of sums up my presentation. I guess we're up to a half an hour. My walkthrough at least. So I just guess I'll hand it over to Morgan for some questions.
Okay, sounds good. Let me take it back. And yeah, as we said earlier, if you guys have questions, please go ahead and chat them in, and then we'll ask Peter. But I'll go ahead and take the control back here. So one question I had, what about the ability for people to export those reports? Is that possible?
Yeah, you can actually do that, and you use the API, and we're using iReport from Jaspersoft, and we actually generate PDF and Excel reports out of that. However, we plan to add some invoice capabilities and some customization of reports, but I know companies that are using just Excel to generate the reports also. So you could use third-party tool, you could use even just Excel and create a nice template there.
Okay. And is there any maybe integration that you could export to Confluence, the wiki, or is that on the roadmap?
There is, the only thing I can say we have on the roadmap would be, well, there's some cool plugins, of course, for Confluence where you probably could do something with the API. We are going to create some gadgets. That's on the roadmap for Summit. So we're going to create some gadget that will that you can plug in and into the Confluence. Yes.
Okay. And here's a question that came in. Please explain the usage of staff ID. Okay.
Staff ID is just a unique identifier. So when you use the Tempo services, you would get a lot of information. You get the JIRA workload information and also the data we are enriching it with, such as client information. We also need to add the ID so external system will know, so it's a unique person. Because in, yeah, I mean, basically it's just so we can handshake with external system. If, I guess you could do without it.
Okay. And is there any, can you provide any of the upcoming features? I know you said during your demo that that's an unreleased version, but further down the roadmap, is there anything big developments that are coming up?
Yeah. This version will actually be out tomorrow. But for the summit, we are going to do something different. We have been doing 3 weeks releases. We're going to freeze development. We're going to just do internal releases until the summit, and that will include some big things. I can mention a few. There are going to be gadgets. There's going to be a lot more interconnection between the function that's already there. A lot of usability changes. We're going to move more towards JIRA in many ways. There's going to be timesheet approvals also, so employees can submit their timesheets, and the boss can, or the Tempo admin can approve the timesheets, and some other things around that. Nothing I can give you any more information on this at this time, but I think it's going to be very exciting. I mean, I mean, we have spent quite a bit of time getting the plugin up to Plugins 2 framework, and really making it perform pretty well. So,
Okay.
of course.
All right, sounds good. There's a few more questions that trickled in. Is this a remotely hosted service, and can I have my own Tempo server?
No, this is a regular plugin, just a regular plugin. So it will just run off your JIRA.
Okay. And for more information, where do people go?
Oh, you can go to our website, tempoplugin.com.
Okay. All right. It looks like that wraps up the questions then that we had for you today. I do have a few more slides. Here's contact information for both myself and Peter. You can contact me directly at webinars@atlassian.com, and Peter is at peter@tmsoftware.is. And as I said earlier, this webinar is being recorded and will be archived on Atlassian TV, and the website is down there at the bottom. And then we have a few webinars coming up. The first one that is scheduled and locked and ready is on the 15th of April, and that's with Refined Wiki, and they do skins for Confluence, which is really awesome. And then I don't have exact dates locked down, but I do have the months. You know, there's Trace Analyst, Confluence and SAP Connector, and Qmetry plugin for JIRA. And you can always keep up to date with the webinars that I have upcoming at atlassian.com/about/events. And then one final slide is for Atlassian Summit. It's coming up just around the corner. We're in heavy planning mode, trying to get Summit packed with great presentations and parties and things for people to do while they come to San Francisco. Last year was the first year that we had it, and it was a huge success. So we want to do it every year and just make it bigger and better for everybody. And another thing to note is that the early bird pricing ends on the 15th of April, so there's just a few weeks left of that, and it gets you, I think it's $200 off the regular price. So if you're considering going, definitely check it out and try to get your ticket before the 15th of April. And Peter, you said you went last year, is that right?
Yeah, this year we're going to be a silver sponsor.
Okay. And do you have any comments on Atlassian Summit for people that might be interested?
Oh, it's awesome. It's great. It's a great event. I mean, it's a great event to meet people and they're like-minded and great place. I mean, highly recommend it. Highly recommend it.
There you go. All right, so that's it for the presentation. Thank you for everyone that chimed in, and a big thank you to you, Peter, for showing off the Tempo.
Oh, not a problem. Appreciate it.
All right, I'll see you at Summit then.
See you. Bye-bye.